radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right. Good evening, Fade to Black. How you doing? All right. Today is Monday, January 29th, 2024. And tonight we're going to do an AMA. AJA, Ask Jimmy Anything. Our guest tonight came down with, I'm just going to say a virus. You know, that's personal stuff. I don't want to really get into it, but yeah. So that's what's happening there. And it was a last minute thing. And I was just like, we were going to do an AMA next week. So let's do it now. And so tonight, AMA, Ask Jimmy Anything, AJA, and put everything in all caps. You can use hashtag F2B over on Twitter. That is easy too as well. And I did a bunch of audio stuff right before the show. Sounds a little low in my ears, but hopefully it's not low to you. You know, I don't know. It just sounds just a skosh low to what I'm normally used to. Anyway, hashtag F2B over on Twitter. And then, of course, the chat room. Put everything in all caps so I can see it. And there you go. Earlier today, I posted up. I got some Fade to Black River Moon coffee. So I'm going to reward all of the new. I'm going to do this for today, and probably we'll see if there's some left tomorrow. But anyway, Fade to Black blend. There it is. River Moon coffee. Nice. There it is. You know you want it, right? So get a Game Changer membership, and you're going to get River Moon coffee. You're going to get your Fade to Black T-shirt, right? Okay, and the links are below. Get a Game Changer membership today and get yourself some River Moon coffee. Yeah, so there you go. While supplies last. And, but yeah, it's really cool. And I've never done anything like this before, but hey, you know what? There you go. So while supplies last, get your Game Changer membership today and Fade to Black blend. And this is the best coffee in the world. And it's just absolutely incredible. It's what I drink. It's what is here. When you go into my coffee corner in the kitchen, it's one of those things. If you're a guest at my house, right? People do it all the time. And hey, man, can I see the coffee corner? Do you really drink Fade to Black? But come here, check this out. Open up the cabinet. Whoa, yep, there it is, right there. Can I have some? Make you a cup. So there you go. Ask Jimmy Anything, AMA tonight, and post everything in all caps over in the chat, and also use hashtag F2B over on Twitter, which I've got here. I'm looking at right now, and there you go. So this week, tonight, AMA. Tomorrow night here on Fade to Black, Dr. Michael Masters is back with us. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about, and he's written a book about it, our ET time travelers, us from the future, with anthropologist Dr. Michael Masters tomorrow night. He's always talking about time travel. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow night with Dr. Michael Masters. Wednesday night, right here on Fade to Black, Adam Apollo is with us. And he's done a bunch of research into Egypt and its timelines with not only megalithic structures, but what is represented there. Are the timelines accurate? Well, no, of course not. So that's what we're going to discuss tomorrow night with Adam, and we're going to find out about his latest research. And then Thursday night, here on Fade to Black, Linda Moulton Howe is with us. Earth Files on Fade to Black. That is Thursday night. All right. So let's see here. Now that I got that out of the way, let me back up here. Geez. So AMA, AJA, and now I've got the very envious task of looking at questions that are only uppercase. And so I'm going to start going through this. I haven't looked yet. Let's see here. Okay, so again, all caps in the chat, please. All caps in the chat so I can see it. And what I normally do, let's see, what I normally do is I just click without reading the questions. And let's see here. Michael Anthony, is that the bass player, or is that could that be my motorcycle instructor? Wouldn't that be strange? It's like having, if it's, hey Michael, if that's you, post it in the chat. Say, yeah, it's me. Let's see. Anyway, okay, so yeah, the questions are coming in. I am, let's, okay, all right. That'll work for now. And then, so let's get this started. And I think 20 questions really quick is a good way to start. And I did want to, I do have somebody here that's allowed to cut in line, and that would be Renee. Renee can cut in line. When I go to conferences, and, people know what I do. People know what I do. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm always rushed, right? And all the areas like where to get breakfast or coffee in the morning at a conference is packed. And I've got, a timeline. I've got to be on stage at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. I'm downstairs at 9, and I'm looking around, and the line is 100 people long. I cut in line. But, I'll ask permission. Is it cool? I'll try to find somebody that I know. And if I don't actually cut in line, maybe I'll buy everybody's coffee just so I can go up to somebody and do it. But, yeah, man, sometimes I've got to cut in line. Everybody's pretty nice about it. I feel weird about it. But I need my coffee just like everybody else, and I've got to go to work. So, yeah, I cut in line. Renee can cut in line. She gets the first question tonight. And she says, I haven't read it yet. I just saw, here's my AMA question for tonight. She asks, love the photos you've been posting. Okay. Please tell us more about your recent experiences riding your motorcycle around the desert. Oh, those pictures. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So, yeah, I've been posting here in the Mojave Desert. there's a lot of interesting things. Of course, we have Skunk Works and everything up the street. We have Edwards Air Force Base up the street. But there's just a lot of history that has gone down in this area over the years. And if you go, you can look at Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier in the X1 happened in the dirt right up the street, right at the Muroc Dry Lake bed. It's now called the Rogers. I think, well, okay, maybe there's two, but there's Rogers Dry Lake out there too as well. And so if you poke around on Google Earth, and it's fun to do, and you'll see things. So do it. Look in the Mojave. If you find something interesting you want me to go and check out, look around and see what you can find. Send it to me. Right? I would love to check it out because when you're zooming in, and there are airstrips that are no longer used all over the place out here. Just go and look. Just go. And so I find it's in Rogers Dry Lake bed. I see this airstrip, and I see the outline of it in the sand, and it's big. And there might have been a number on it. That part doesn't matter, but it looks like it's brown now, right? It's not like black. Anyway, like blacktop tarmac. And so I'm poking around there, and then I see just a couple of interesting things. But as I was like, this is right next to Ed. This can't. You can't have access to this. There's no way. So I'm zooming in. I'm scrolling. I don't see any gates. I don't see anything. You can find the North Gate, the South Gate. You can find the entrances to Edwards, and you see how that is, and the guard shacks, and all of that. But I find this airfield. I was like, I think I can drive to it. So it's examples like that where I'll scroll around, and that's how I found the airplanes. Let me back up. Part of the thing she's referring to here, I think, is I've got lots of pictures of planes. So I told everybody that I had gone out a couple of weeks ago, and nothing like hitting the open road, right? Just driving and seeing where I end up, and then if half a tank of gas out, just get down to half a tank, turn around, and head back to town, kind of thing. So I'm out there, and I see something in the sun off to my right. Now, look, I'm doing 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. And you just don't want to take your eye off the road for too long. But I just kind of looked, I went, wow, there is something out there. There is something out there, but there's no place to pull over. And here's the thing, right? The road stops. With a big, heavy bike like a Harley Davidson, you just don't pull off into the dirt, throw the kickstand down, and walk. No, because the bike is heavy. It'll sink into the dirt. I got to get one of those little hockey puck things, or carry an ashtray with me or something. You can put that underneath the kickstand, and then it won't do it. But anyway, so there's always that problem. You just can't, unless there's a spot to pull over, and get your kick, you can't stop. And this was one of those instances. You can't stop. There's no place to pull over. Anyway, I see it. And I see this, and I was like, man, that's right there. So I come back, I jump on Google Earth. I know basically where I'm at, and I'm zooming, and there it is. It's a frigging airplane. It's a B-58 Hustler, and it's on Google Earth, right? It's like, man, I think I can get to this. So I'm looking at all the little dirt roads, the access roads, and those were blocked off. But I head back out there. And I only see the B-58 Hustler, but I head back out there, and then as I'm coming on the street, so now it's got what? And I see off in the distance, I see this tail sticking up, and it's gray. And I thought, wow, it doesn't look like what I saw. So I go up the street, and now I'm close enough to the guard gate, and I'm looking. This is like a no trespassing and all that stuff, and you're cautious about all of that. And I don't want to attract too much attention because I want to be able to have the freedom of going out and doing this stuff. But anyway, so I make a U-turn. I come back and I'm looking. Then it's like, that wasn't the plane. There's two out there. Oh, crap. But they're like, I don't know, quarter mile apart, maybe a little less, but I could see the tail of this thing, and I was like, that looks like a B-52 tail. But it's in, it's way. So, but I stop and I take pictures of the B-58, which is pretty cool. And then I head back home, jump back on Google Earth, Google Satellite, and sure enough, there's a B-52s out there. Now, I'm going to go back and I'm gonna go in the Jeep. I'm gonna park the Jeep. I'm gonna walk. I'm just gonna hop the fence and I'm gonna go. What's the least they can do? I mean, what's the worst they can do? Right? Not gonna arrest me. Just escort me back to my Jeep, and I can just make up some excuses, but I'm going to go back out there. Anyway, so there's that. And Willow Springs International Raceway is also here in the neighborhood. I think it's like the oldest racetrack continuously run in the United States. It's Willow friggin' Springs is right there. So I just rode out there and met up with some people out there. That was really cool. And but to have that, it's right here. All you got to do is drive out there to it. So there's Willow Springs. A couple of so I did post some pictures. Let me see if I can pull these up. Just hang on, everybody. I'll pull up some. Let me see what I can do. Here is this is Willow Springs, and yeah, there you go. Okay, I got it. I have the technology to do this. So, boom, yes. So there's Willow Springs. That's a pretty cool shot. That's Willow Springs, and again, it's in the desert. It's up against the hills, but to be standing right there, that's the track behind me. That's the track, and yeah, it's just right here. The fastest road in the West. Oh, I can So they have 3 tracks out here. You can see my mouse. There's one track right here. There's the main track. That's right here. Then up in the hills, there's another track right here, and then there's another track right here. Off to the left, right behind where this diner is, there is a drifting school out there. That looks pretty interesting too as well. I'm not a drifter, but there it is. There's Willow Springs, and there's track number 2. I forget what they call it. And track number 3 right here. Willow Springs, just sitting right out here. So that's part of my inspiration. Oh yeah. Let me show you. So let me see here if I've got a shot. Just stay with me. I've done some work to my bike, and let me see if I can pull this up and let's see if it's I can show you. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, let me pop this up here. So before anybody asks, I'll just go ahead and tell everybody what I have done to the bike, because somebody will ask. There it is right there. This is the Kill Bill house, or the Kill Bill church. The famous shootout at the church during the wedding. There it is, the Kill Bill Church. And again, this is just right here. It's just right here. So I drove out to the Kill Bill Church. Here's my bike, and I've done a few things to it. First off, there is a cafe fairing. I've added that wind. One of the coolest things. I didn't think I would do it. I thought I would go with the straight naked bike, but wind is a killer. And so I added the fairing. There's a cell phone holder there. That's a quad lock. And this is, I swapped out the air cleaner. This is a K&N. This cover that is on it is not supposed to be there. I finagled that and bought that separate and put that on there. My little it's my little custom thing for the bike is this cover here, but I got it to fit, and there's a story behind that, and it's kind of hilarious. I've changed the foot pegs. Those are, as you can see, these are chrome foot pegs, rubber top, but chrome foot pegs. I changed those. And then on the other side of the bike, I changed out the shifter, the shift lever, so that's new. This is still stock, but I'm getting ready to swap that out. Also, on the bike, all of the bolts are covered with bolt covers. You can see here, everything's got a bolt cover. I don't have these yet done because I don't have the right size, but everything else has got bolt covers on it. If you look really close, those are all covered. And something that Harley guys do, these are all bolt covers. Looks really good, too. The bolt covers, once you add these and you get rid of that look, that's what I've done to the bike. I've changed out the pegs, I've changed out the shifter, changed out the air cleaner, added the fairing, and that's where it sits right now. I'm getting ready to change the handlebars. These are going to be lower. I want them just a little lower, so that will probably be done next week with some lower bars. These are the stock bars, and too high for me. I just don't like that. So anyway, I'm going to go for some lower moto bars, not drag bars, but moto bars. And I'm working on the exhaust. Okay, so that's enough on the bike. I'll tell you another funny thing about California exhaust. We're the only state where we've got all these laws, so you just can't swap out the exhaust, and you can't get them, you can't order them, you can't do anything. It's I got to drive out. I got to drive to Vegas, for my exhaust. Yeah. So right now the exhaust is sitting. I want new exhaust, but yeah. So that's sitting there. All right. Here's the question. Would you rather live in the pyramids in Egypt or across from the pyramids in Egypt? I wouldn't want to live in the pyramids. Yeah, living across from them would be pretty cool. Yeah. In other words, would you want people to view the pyramid from your house? Yeah. If I lived across from the pyramids in Egypt, nobody would be allowed at my house. There's no way. Nope. You want to go see the pyramids? Go right over there. All right. Let's see. Jimmy, I know about your career as a musician and producer. What albums have you produced in the 80s and 90s? I would have to Google that to remember everything. That's so many years ago. Let's see. And not being cavalier. It's just, man, geez, right? It's like that. Just sitting here and remembering all of that stuff. Okay, let's scroll down. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's see. I can pop Les's question up here. Coffee flavored ice cream, yay or nay? 100% yay. I don't think There's a better ice cream. I said better. There's as good, yes. Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream. I will destroy a pint of Haagen-Dazs, even though I don't do ice cream anymore like I used to. I can't do it. But, man, Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream, so good. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What's next? Here we go. If you could reincarnate and come back to this timeline, who would you want to be and why? I'd be myself. I don't want to be anybody else. Now, why? Why? Okay, now, so I understand the question. So if I could reincarnate and come back, I would come back as myself. I mean, 100%. That's it. I'm very blessed. I'm honored and privileged to be able to do what I do and support myself and support my family and just find my bliss and have happiness. I wouldn't change. Nah. Do you know how many people would give anything to do what I do? I get that. It's an honor and a privilege to sit here and do this. So there's that part. But now let's go to the fantasy part. Who would I come, man? I don't want to take it away from anybody, but it'd be pretty cool to come back as Randy Rhoads, Dimebag Darrell, Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan. That would be pretty cool. Right? That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Or maybe a Formula One race car driver. That would be pretty cool. Come back as one of them. Indy car driver, stock car driver. That'd be fun. Wouldn't come back as a lead singer. And couldn't do that. But yeah, so the fantasy part, who would I... It wouldn't be it would be what I would do, not who. All right, so I'm gonna flip that around. It's not really that, but would I do something different? An astronaut would be pretty cool. Yeah, one of the old astronauts, from the 60s. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Be one of the Mercury, Gemini, Apollo astronauts back in the day. That'd be pretty fun. X-15 pilot, SR-71 pilot. Oof, man. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. All right, let's see. Marjorie Hickey. Let's see. She says, Jimmy, have you ever thought of having a guest host while you're on your trips? It would be great for all the Fadernauts. No. You know how much I've thought about it? I think about it like this. Somebody asked the question, right? Like you, Marjorie. And I think about it and I go, nope. That's about how long I think about it. Having somebody step in is one thing, right? There's that. The second part of it is this is a very technical studio, and you would have to replicate what I have here at another location, and you would have it's like an impossible thing. I've talked about it before. I've thought about it. Little things like having replays done on the show, right? While I'm gone, just have replays play is so difficult because of the feeds. So everything comes in here and then goes back out to all of the networks. Okay, you just don't. It's not what you think it is. It's simply not. So somebody can't just like play a file and then it just magically goes through this system here and then goes out to everybody. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. So that's the other hurdle. So even if I decided, yeah, okay, let's do this, then it would the technical side and the logistics side on the back half, it's like impossible. It's impossible to do. It's impossible to pull off. So let's see. All right, let's go to the next question. This is from Matt. Matt says, I'm about to start a podcast. Any suggestions? Appreciate greatly, Jimmy. Matt, good luck, first off. I think it's a great idea. Here are my suggestions. The first thing that you need to learn, there's all kinds of technical stuff, right? How to speak into a microphone, audio levels, content, edits, fades, right? There's all that. That you're going to have to learn on your own. But here's the hurdle. Here is the most difficult thing, Matt, and anybody else listening to me. Be yourself. If you're interesting at dinner, if you're interesting at parties, if you can hold a conversation and just hang out with your friends and talk, that person is who needs to be on the microphone. Don't try to be somebody else. You want to be a sportscaster? Don't try to be Vin Scully. There's only one Vin Scully, right? You want to be a guitar player? There's only one Eddie Van Halen, right? Find your own style. Be yourself. It's the most difficult thing to do because you hear something in your and you're trying to be something that you're not. And then when you do that, you're not thinking. Your head is somewhere else. What you need is to get your brain connected to your jaw. Just be yourself. Be natural. If and no matter what, if you can do that, if you can pull that off, your audience will come to you. They will see that you're original and you're just being yourself. That you're not trying to be somebody that you're not. And that's the trick. That's the whole trick, no matter what. So if you, and I say this to everybody, but it's really true. I say it all the time. If you come over to my house, if you meet me at a conference, if we go out for drink, if we have dinner, whatever, if we just have a conversation, the person that you meet is this person. Not any different. Trust me. Trust me. I'm the same dick in person that I am on this show. I'm the same. It's the same. It's so easy and natural. I'm just coming in. I hit go and I do the show. That's it. There's no mask. There's no imitations going on. There isn't. No. This is it. This is it. There's. And that's the secret. And I was told this so many times by instructors and people that are out there that do this and it, just be yourself. And he was like, what? And I remember one of the first broadcasts I had done in school, and I was so excited, and Hilton Palm was there, and I think Charlie, and I think we had a fourth, and it was like this sports show, and there's going to be four of us. And so we go in, nice studio, we go into the studio, and we do this thing, we do the broadcast. And I'm prepared, I've got all the stuff, I got all the thing, and so forth. Anyway, 2 hours, 3 hours. I went back so excited to finally get this done and do this. And I go back and I'm listening to it. And I get like, I'm going to say 30 seconds. I get 30 seconds into it listening to it, and I'm like, it's not even me. In fact, this sucks. I'm just trying to be ESPN Sports Center. I'm trying to be, no. And I never listened to it. I learned my lesson. And I tell everybody, and I have so many friends that do podcasts, and I've told them all the same thing. Your best show is your last one. The stuff that you did in the beginning is unlistenable. Don't listen to it. Just focus on now. Constantly, just try to be yourself. Don't listen to the old stuff. It'll throw you off your game because you'll hear how bad it sucks. Yes, it does. All you do is get better, get more natural. So, Matt, good luck to you. Keep us posted. And would love to know what your show is going to be about and all of that stuff. Okay, next. Let's see. Got Faded Black Coffee for Christmas, and I can testify it is extremely strong. There you go. Oh, I wonder if this is the Michael Anthony. I can't read that. I'm wondering if that's who that is. My teacher for my motorcycle license, Michael Anthony. Let's see. What is this unknown user? What physical object do you think the Templars have stashed to reveal to us? Look, all of my Templar buddies out there, and you know who they are. I've told them all the same thing on the air, but also privately. Quit messing around. Quit messing around. I don't want to hear, okay, just do it. If you have got something, reveal it. That's it. That's it. That's it. And I've sat with Scott Walter, privately. Scott and I, private, just sitting there, hanging out, doing our thing. I'm like, dude, quit playing around. I know. I know you don't. Because otherwise, stuff would have been so quit playing around. What physical object do you think? Well, they claim a lot. They do. The Ark of the Covenant, all right? Different, bones, artifact, this, that. Put it out there. Whatever it is. Just reveal it, and we'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I have no idea. Okay. Let's see. What's next? Super Crazy Movie Geek. Do you think technologically more advanced ETs can be just as dumb and evil as us humans can be despite their superior knowledge? Of course. Anything is possible. My hope, the argument is out there, right? And you hear it all the time, that ET, bad intentions. ET, nothing but good intentions. Okay, so what have we seen? Is there evidence of ET shooting at us? Like for real. Well, man, there's this video, the Italian helicopter. Okay, all right. But I would say that there is more evidence, most of the evidence, that they're okay with us. Okay? There's that. Is there bad and good ET out there? There's bad and good everywhere. All right? Generally speaking, look at Earth. Most of us are pretty cool. All right? There's always the one doofus, right? So you've got a classroom of 30 kids. There's always one, right? But there's 29 kids that are pretty good, right? That's the world. And that's probably the universe. And it's all of us good that are keeping, that one doofus in class in check from running amok. Now, we all want to be him or her. But, and then there's this. If you are a species that has gone through a longer evolution than Earth, okay? And it could be 100 years, it could be a million years. You would be more mature. You would be more evolved. And so I don't think you would evolve as a species into more negativeness, more badness, more awfulness. No, I think you would evolve out of that. So if you are an advanced species, I think that the odds are you're going to evolve into intelligence and enlightenment. That's my take. If we just look at Earth for a second. Think about this. In the 19th century, not the 20th century, in the 19th century, in the 1800s, in the 19th century, there was a thought process that was going around in the science community, in the higher learning, that we knew it all. That there was nothing left to figure out. Things were happening: electricity, the telegraph, steam engines, locomotives, right? Ships without sails. Started looking at balloons and flight, and started to take out the automobile. And we thought that we had learned everything there was to know. Yeah, that was the thought process. And think about what happened. 1900 rolls around, boom. And in the late 1800s, Edison, Tesla, Marconi, radio, recording, Edison, light bulbs. Things were, it was like, wow. And then think about how far we have come. Now, I would say that the mentality that we had in the 19th century, how off we were, and then you see how far we've come in the 20th and 21st centuries. And you know what we have learned? I'm being straight. We have found out, we have learned this, that we know nothing. The more time passes, we find out that we just don't know nothing. We don't know anything. We don't know anything about gravity. We don't know anything about the universe. We find out that, the two of the biggest things in the universe, dark energy and dark matter. And we know nothing. Nothing about it. Nothing at all. Nothing. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And so, yeah, I'm just blown away where this mindset that we had in the 19th century, that we had learned everything that there was to learn. And here we are in 2023, and the opposite is true. We now know that we're just idiots. We don't know anything. We don't know anything. Anything. what is, we have facts, and then we have truth. Okay, two separate things, right? So we're presented facts. We have books. We have things. We have knowledge. We have facts, right? And then we have what is on the other side of facts, which is truth. Let's get to the truth, right? It's bizarre, man. It's bizarre. It's like two different things. My next documentary, I'm working on it now. My next documentary is going to be about just that. Here are the facts, and let's go beyond that. Let's go behind the facts and get to the truth. You can point anywhere, take any example, and I can present it to you that way. Okay, those are the facts. Okay, now let's get to the truth. I understand 2 + 2 = 4, but now let's get to the truth. So there you go. All right, let's see. What did you do in order to improve your eyesight? I talked about it. You're going to have to just go back. I just can't talk about it publicly. The company, they wanted too much from me. And I'm just not willing to, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to put things out. And that's, it worked for me. I don't want to get that. That's it. And if it doesn't work for somebody else, well, Jimmy, you said, well, no, I'm not, and it's just, so I have backed off on all of that stuff. Yeah. So, great question though. Let's see. Favorite Blue Oyster Cult song? Such an underrated band. Yeah. Saw Blue Oyster Cult a few times. Saw them recently too. Recently, 2000. God, that was 13 years ago. 23 years ago. What am I saying? I still, I gotta say, every time it comes on the radio, it comes up on my playlist or something. Don't Fear the Reaper. There's something about that song. Very underrated band. That's a good one, Jonacide. Let's see. Kurt M., do you feel Lucky Louie is Mick West? I don't know who Lucky Louie is. So that looks like some kind of controversy going down in the Twitterverse. I have no idea. I've never heard of Lucky Louie. And, Mick West, would Mick West create another account? I don't know why he would. That's interesting. All right. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. So let's see. Do I want to start a cover band? Send me your demo tape and I'll let you know. All right. Let's see. How did you get started with researching the UAP phenomenon? I never researched the UAP phenomenon. I did the UFO phenomenon. I can tell you exactly. I can tell you right now exactly how it started. Fourth grade, and my best friend was this kid named John. I don't want to say his last name, but his name is John. And we watched a lot. Okay, so this is, like UFO. All right, so at the time, this would have been 1972, 1973. there were a few really cool shows out at that time. UFO, number one. Number two, Space 1999, both put out by the same company out of the UK. Anyway, so the show UFO blew my mind, and John was a huge fan of that in Space 1999. And so anyway, I remember going to the library, getting an encyclopedia, the one that had U on it, pulling it out, looking up UFO, and there it was. UFO was in the encyclopedia. And the photograph in this particular encyclopedia had Rex Heflin's picture on it. And now, for those of you that don't know who Rex Heflin is, this is the beauty of the internet. I will post Rex Heflin here. Hold on. Let's see. Rex Heflin UFO. Rex. And I see this, and I'm like, what? All right. So let's see if I can pull this up. Man, this is just a Google search and see if I can go bigger here. And if I can't, yeah, I can do this. This is fine. I'll share this. And so I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, oh, what? And this is what started it. I mean, for me personally, was this right here. Yeah. There it is. And I can't make it bigger. So there it is. And that's what did it for me. Right there. That's what did it. Rex Heflin. And I just remember looking at that and at the picture and later on in life, you know, I read about Rex Heflin, never met him. But you know, you go through this and you get the story behind those photographs. And I got to tell you, as a kid, it really messed with me. It really did. Rex Heflin. So that was 1973. So that would have been, yeah, it's 50 years ago. Yeah. Yep, 50 years. 50 years been at this. All right, let's see. Do I have a funny nickname from when I was a kid? Oh, man. You just reminded me. I forgot what it was. We were in Panama, and I was 14 years old. We're drinking, smoking weed, whatever. And there was like 15 or 20 of us. And this one particular night, everybody was getting nicknames. Right? And I forget the name I was given that night. It kind of stuck throughout high school. I can't remember. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Oh, man. And it stuck, whatever it was, kind of stuck throughout high school, but it was only in Panama. It didn't follow me back. Do you believe we will have disclosure? This is not in all caps. I just happen to see it. Do you believe we will have disclosure in 2024? I do. I think something is about to bust. Yeah. I think something is about to bust. Phil the Stalker, what was a good dining experience in Peru? Man, all of them. But we did in Paracas. Man, there's so much good food in Peru. There really wasn't any bad food. But there in Paracas, which is a small town and they have this harbor, and you can see it, man, right there. You can see the shrimp and tuna boats, hundreds of them right there. So you know you don't want to really mess around. You want seafood in Paracas. And so there's this restaurant. It was called Nautilus. We ate there 3 nights in a row. It was that good. Incredible. Yeah. I ordered, I did this on the second 2 nights, and it was just eating whatever. The ceviche was amazing. Anyway, so I see this crab soup for an entree. So I'm going to have the crab soup. It's on night 2. The crab soup comes. I have no idea. I just ordered it. It's a whole crab in broth. I'm like, what? I mean, it's cool. I wasn't expecting that. And yeah, so you have to break the whole crab apart, pull everything out, put it in and it was insane. It was a lot of work. The next night, third night, I ordered it again. It was incredible. And everybody at the table, I think, ordered it too. They watched me the first night. Like, you can't get a whole crab like that? Yeah, I did. And it was incredible. So, yeah, everything in Peru. I'm going back to Peru in November. Everybody, if you can do it, just come with us. Peru is incredible. Nazca. You know you want to fly over the Nazca Plains and look at those lines. Nazca, Machu Picchu, Ollantaytambo. Man, it's just Sacsayhuaman. You want to go. You want to go to the Inca Museum. You want to see those elongated skulls. You want to go to Peru. It's just like everywhere you go in Peru, man, downtown Cusco. You want to see that 12-sided stone. When you see the 12-sided stone in person, Sacsayhuaman, those giant house-sized stones, yeah, all that. When you're in Cusco and you walk down that alley and you see the 12-sided stone for real, and you look at it, your brain doesn't work. Puma Punku. You want to go. I've got the links below. You want to go to Peru. Come and hang out with us. It's absolutely incredible. Let's see. Jimmy, what's your favorite UFO story? My favorite UFO story? My personal or overall? Overall. Overall, man, that's a tough one. I got to go, man. I'm going Rendlesham. Look, Betty and Barney Hill, Travis Walton, Roswell, Malmstrom. Yes, Phoenix Lights. Yes, all of that. But Rendlesham. Now, those are now my favorite, my personal. Well, it'd be the beer can. Yeah, without a doubt. The beer can is still the craziest, even though I've seen so many things that I can't explain. That stupid static thing over Edwards Air Force Base, that was incredible. The Zorro Z was incredible. That time Rita and I were driving down the hill and that thing flashed through our windshield and landed in Van Nuys. That was pretty crazy. So there's so many that I've seen so much. The Billy, that gold ball, that golden orb that flew over us. Yeah. But probably the beer can and Rendlesham. Rendlesham, my favorite case, and the beer can, my favorite personal experience. So I think that answers the question the way that I think was asked. Well, I got to answer it twice. So there you go. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? I need to take a break really quick, so we will get that in. You know what? I'll do this when I come back. This is Fade to Black. Tonight is our AMA AJA. Post your questions in the chat. I've got some that have come in an email and also over on Twitter, hashtag F2B. I'll be right back. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. Click that subscribe button right now.
My job is not to preach. My job is to take you on this journey.
In a state of passion, nothing negative can happen.
That it's the moons of those planets that would have life.
Sometimes I see, these energies also in your field.
It is our passion and our pleasure.
Go to jimmychurchradio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month. This is Jimmy Church. Please visit and explore Egypt this October 3rd through the 14th, 2024 with Billy, Elizabeth, myself, and very special guest, Matt LaCroix. It's simple to do. Just go to forbiddenknowledge.com and click on upcoming tours, or click on the link below. We'll see you there. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's Fade to Black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade to Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? Hi, everybody. Jimmy Church here. Very special announcement, and that is we are shipping Fade to Black T-shirts again. It's been almost 2 years. We did a full upgrade to the website, so you can head over to jimmychurchradio.com. It's all simple to do, and it's right there. Remember, we broadcast 4 nights a week, Monday through Thursday. We bring you the best, the brightest, the most knowledgeable and amazing guests, the best conversations. We do that 4 nights a week. We also do 4 days a week. We broadcast the news, and we do that live too as well. It's not a one-man show. I do it with website support. I do it with producers. I do it with writers and artists. All contribute to the show. The best way to help support what we do here is with the Fade to Black T-shirt. And you can get your Fade to Black T-shirt one of 2 ways. First, Go to jimmychurchradio.com, order a shirt. It's really that simple. You're going to get a tracking number, it's going to get shipped, and it's going to get autographed. The second way to get a shirt is with a Game Changer membership. Now, the Game Changer membership not only includes a free T-shirt, but you get a private email to me. You get unlimited commercial-free downloads. You have full access to the website, and everything includes free shipping, and everything is autographed. So help support the show. Get your Fade to Black T-shirt today. The links are below. You can just go to jimmychurchradio.com, and it's right on the website. So there you go. I'm Jimmy Church, Fade to Black. I'm so excited that I just have one thing to say. Go Beckley Teppy. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut. River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com. All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church tonight. AMA, AJA, Ask Jimmy Anything. Just post your questions in all caps in the chat. You can send me an email too as well. And also hashtag F2B on Twitter. I haven't been over to Twitter yet. This came in email from Justin. Jimmy, what are your thoughts on ET causing the chaos going on in the world right now? Do you think they are behind this? Could they be reptilian? The world right now is not in chaos. Our memory is short. You want to talk about chaos? There was this thing called World War II. Think about that, right? And we have had what's going on in Ukraine and Gaza right now? Okay. It's because we're aware of things in real time so quickly now because of the internet and media. And I understand that, and social media. I get that. But think about World War II, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Think about, our memory is short. The Vietnam War, the Iraq Gulf War, the Persian Gulf War. Think about the Desert Storm. Our memory is short. I just don't think that things are in chaos any more than any other point in history, right? It's kind of what we do. There's a new series out. I think it's on Apple. Started it. I watched the first 2 episodes over the weekend, and about World War II B-17 Mitchell pilots. And it's a Steven Spielberg production. It's Amblin. It's well done. I can't remember the name of it. Masters of the Air or something. And go and watch that, man. If you haven't, go watch something like The Longest Day or Bridge Too Far. Just go and watch something like that. And so are we in chaos? I just don't think ET would be behind the chaos that you think we are going through right now. I don't see it. Now, there are some crazy humans that, you know what bothers me? This is what bothers me. There are meetings in boardrooms with people sitting around looking at P&L, profit and loss statements, going, we need to sell more bullets. You know what bullets do, right? We need to build more missiles. We need more money. That's crazy. That you know, and now the flip side of this is this type of scenario. If you are in the military, let's just talk about the United States. If you're in the military, it's your job to defend this country. All right. So if there is a situation that is in play that you don't understand, and in this case, UFOs, you would have to have a spin on that where you have to, if it's something that you can't understand or don't understand, you are going to have to discuss it. I get that. I totally understand that. I do. I totally get it. All right. So, but would an ET race be behind us fighting each? No, I just don't feel that. I don't feel that. I don't. So yeah. Okay. So that's my answer there. But there are some bad people on this planet. We need to build more bullets. We need to sell more bullets. That's crazy talk. All right. Let's see. Jimmy, what is your go-to sing-along song on road trips? Oh, man. Kind of easy. Anything Van Halen. Van Halen, Dance the Night Away. Always going to work. Anything by Frank Zappa is going to work. Yo Mama. Anything by the Allman Brothers. With a woman's name in it, Jessica, Melissa, Ramblin' Man. But yeah, those are always really, really, really good go-to songs. Anything Van Halen, I do that all the time. And I was on the road not too long ago, and so I get my phone, go to my playlist, and it PIL album. That's what it's called. The cassette was called cassette. CD had this generic blue and white label on it. But that album, and Steve Vai on guitar, that album is so bleeping great. And I listened to that whole thing. I did do on a recent road trip. I went through like 2 Pearl Jam albums. Yeah. 10. Oh, man. Such a really, really, really good record for the road. But simple stuff. Yeah. Anything Van Halen. I do that all the time, man. I'm Fair Warning, Women and Children First, Van Halen 2, and just blast through those records. Man, just so good. Diver Down. Oh, man. What a great record. Okay, Jimmy. Kramer or Charvel? I have both. So I'm going to say, that's a tough one, because when you go to, I have new and vintage versions of both guitars. So it's a coin toss, but the right proper vintage version of it could be either. I know some people are going to lean on, I can go either way. I can go either way. I can go, that's a coin toss. And even the new versions of both those guitars are really, really good, which I have too as well. If you look at the Kramer 84, which is a new guitar, for the money, man, that's a tough guitar to beat. It is. But then when you look at the new Charvels, for the money, a tough guitar Yeah, it's a really tough guitar to beat. They come basically the same. It's really weird. Seymour Duncan, JB's, Floyd Rose, basswood bodies, maple necks. That's what I get. But they sound radically different. Yeah, even when you buy two of the same guitar from the same companies, the same set, they will sound different. But yeah, that's a coin toss. That's a coin toss. There's a reason why Eddie played Kramer. Yeah, there's a reason for that. But yeah, that's a coin toss. I was gonna pull. Man, see, I don't want to get up, but I've got a Kramer Star right there, bolt on. That guitar, that's a hardtail. That guitar is perfect. That's a perfect guitar. It's perfect. It's a perfect guitar. I don't want to get up and I'm trying. Do I have any behind me? Let's see. Nothing I can grab really quick. Man, yeah. I don't have any Kramer or Charvels like right behind me that I can just grab. But I've got two over there, but I'm not going to get up. Okay. But anyway, coin toss. I like them both. Okay. Let's see. If you could be invisible, where would you go? If I could be invisible, where would I go? Area 51, Lockheed Skunk Works, right up the street. Yeah. If I could be invisible, that's where I would go. Yeah. That's where I would go. Area 51 or Lockheed Skunk Works and walk around and see what is there. Yeah. That's a great question. Thank you, Joanne. That's a fantastically perfect question right there. Let's see, Matt, Jimmy, how often do you change your perspective on what the UFO phenomena is? I change it all the time. You have to be flexible here. I showed earlier the pictures of Rex Heflin, and the way that, and this is how we have all evolved, and I roll with it, right? I evolved too. In that we went through, especially in the 40s and 50s, we went through the original UFO hypothesis and how that worked. I think that we all pictured, because we didn't understand the universe, we didn't understand planets, and so we didn't have a grip like we understand more today. We don't know anything, but we understand more. And so we pictured, these flying saucers traveling across the universe, these metal thing, with a dude and or dudette, piloting these craft that were entering our atmosphere. And we would ask these questions like, man, it's a long distance, why? And that these were physical metal things, and that does happen for sure. I've seen it, but I've evolved off of that. And the reason why, well, not evolved off of the metal craft, but the idea of them traveling for 1 million years in just a little craft without a swimming pool, a pool table, a bed, a bedroom, pictures on the wall, right? The idea of, a craft with a little seat and there's nothing else in there, and somebody sitting in that for 10,000 years, just all day long, so I've evolved that And it takes a minute to kind of see through that and get to the next level, because today, now Einstein and the Einstein-Rosen bridge and the ideas behind that, and go watch the movie Contact, and the ideas behind that, you start to understand that, okay, let's say it is a craft with just a seat in it. Well, all right, but they didn't sit in that seat for 10,000 years. They sat in that seat for a couple of minutes. They go in, they sit down, Earth, boom, get out of the seat. It's like that long. That's how long they're traveling. That I've had to evolve into that and try to get off of the distance thing. The distance thing is there, but you have to overcome the distance. All right. Here's another thought. Let me throw this out there. Let's say a rocket takes off with us on it and a video feed. Okay. And then it goes and takes out this new spacecraft can now achieve almost the speed of light. All right. Let's just put it there. And we are watching the astronauts sitting in their seats or walking or doing their thing like we see on the International Space Station. But this is flying away from Earth, just taking off. And we're watching the video feed. And they, on the ship, have a video feed from Earth. And let's say the video feed, it could be inside Johnson Space Center, but let's say they're looking at a video feed of Times Square in New York, right? So as it's leaving Earth, they're watching Times Square, people driving, stopping, crossing the street. Everything is normal, right? And we're watching them in the ship, and everything is normal. See them doing their thing, right? Okay. As their speed increases, what they are seeing on their screen in the ship is now different than we are watching what they are seeing on Earth. So now they're watching Times Square and everything is speeding up. People are crossing the street. Cars. And as they increase their speed, they don't even see people crossing the street anymore. It's a blur. The cars are now streaks of light. The buses are streaks of light. The taxis are streaks. And the video feed that we are watching from the spacecraft is slowing down. So now they're drinking their coffee like this. Right? As the speed increases, you look inside the spacecraft and you see this. You don't see them drinking the coffee. On Earth, now Times Square is nothing but, you don't even see, it's absolute blur. Everything is just clipping by. And I talk about this all the time. And of course, Einstein presented this. But if you take that U-turn and you look at it in that perspective, and you take that U-turn and you come back, potentially a year has gone by in your life on the spacecraft, but 1,000 years has gone by here on Earth. That's insane. Right? But put that in perspective with E.T. traveling across the universe. You know, what is really going on with that? And what is the perspective? That's why that chair makes so much sense. Just a chair on the craft. There isn't a need for you come in, you sit down, and you get up. You're done. That's how long. You don't even need padding in the chair. You're not sitting there long enough. Yeah. So that's why. And speaking of that, Jimmy, what's the fastest you have gone on your Harley so far? I can tell you right now, 90 miles per hour. And I've only done that like once. Here, and let me tell you why. I could do it all the time if I had a full fairing. 90 miles an hour on a naked bike, the wind is like nothing you have ever experienced. You are hanging on for dear life. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, Ron Lubin. Ron, one of the greatest singers and guitar players ever in the history of Hollywood. And he rides. And so we were talking the other night on the phone. Amazing talent. We were talking about that wind. You know, he's got this big road glide or whatever, this thing, full fairing, and he drives across the country and does his thing. But he used to have a naked bike, and he was talking about it. He said, man, the wind on your chest. So this is what I have figured out about riding. 65. The wind it's an issue, but it's not a big issue. The difference between 60 and 70, you can hear the wind. It is so loud and so and you're hanging on. Cranking it up to 80 and 90, you're hanging on. You slow it back down to 60 and you're like, man, I could do this all day long. So that's what I've learned. My bike is for cruising. It's 60, 55, 60. I'm fine with that. It's just flying. Just doing going faster than that. For me, there's no reason to do it. There's not. I'm not in any hurry to get there. Now, a sport bike, thought about it a little bit. Sport bike, though, and doing those crazy speeds, it's you know. But I could evolve. It could change for me. It could change, but that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned on the bike is wind. Wind is a killer. That's why I put the fairing on it. All right, and I don't even want to go the bigger fairing. There's no need for it. Will I get on the open highway and drive from here to Sturgis on that bike? No. You got 150 miles per tank. 150, 160. That's a lot of stops. That's a lot of driving. And going across the country at speed at 70, 80 miles per hour between gas stations, 150 miles of just getting beat down like you're in a hurricane. No, it's not a good time to me. Okay. Sage, are you thinking of doing future regressions? Never say never. It's exhausting. The regression was fun. It was great. It was amazing. I learned a lot. But it's is it something that I would, once a month? No, it's too exhausting. Once a year, maybe. Would I do it again? I need a reason to do it. Right now, I don't have a reason, but if I have a reason to do it, I will do it. I have Sarah right there. We're talking. I mean, but I would need a reason. The last regression, we did it for the TV show. I had never done it before. I wanted to go through the experience, and let's see what happens. I learned a lot. It was fun. I can be regressed. I know how quickly and easily I can go under and how deep I went under. That part of it, those are questions that I had. Was it possible for me to do all of that? So I know that I can. So yeah, there's that part. But the other side, I'm still unpacking it. I did that show with Sarah on Thursday, and in reviewing our entire session and looking at that, I was not only was I recalling and like, oh, wow, I said that. Wow, okay, what was I? And I've got to unpack that. I've got to go through it again. I'm still unpacking my life. I can't imagine doing that multiple times a year and having to mentally process that. That's it's a lot. It's a lot. It was a lot of fun though. If you have a reason, if you want to get a hold of Sarah, I have no idea. I'm sure that she is extremely booked up and things, but I can say that Sarah's amazing. But I have the single experience. I don't have multiple people that I've dealt with and stuff like that. But Sarah, that was amazing. If you can do it, if you can pull it off, highly recommend Sarah Breskman Cosme. Okay, let's see. Jimmy, how did you meet Christina? I have not met Christina. And Harley or Indian? I almost got an Indian. I don't want to blow past. How did you meet Christina? Christina, I've never met her in person. So, but I think originally she reached out to me for an interview. I think that's how it happened. And I think, or maybe I reached out to her and had her come on Fade. But I can't remember. I can't remember. But she was working for the Debrief at the time. So, and I was, Micah Hanks and everybody over there at the Debrief. I was bringing them on Fade to Black. So maybe that's how that happened. I can't remember exactly, but it was when she was at the Debrief. So there you go. But I've never met her in person. Let's see. Harley or Indian? I was looking at the Indians. I was looking at the Scouts. Came really close. I like the style of their bikes. I do a lot. And that was a tough call. I almost went Indian, but I went Harley. So. Okay, let's see. Jimmy, your thoughts on Kirkpatrick's new article and Christopher Mellon's tweet about it. Sean Kirkpatrick. Sean, I haven't read the article. I haven't read Mellon's tweet about it, so I don't know. I can't make any comments. But and let me tell you why. All right? I've kind of checked out on Kirkpatrick. If we back up, when he wrote that article with Avi Loeb, I was very impressed. Okay? Could ET motherships be in our solar system releasing probes, and could that be what's here? And I read that, and I was fascinated by the article, and I thought it was spot on the money. And then he turns around and makes all of these statements after that, and he did his budget hearing with Gillibrand, and absolutely did an about face, and then started to seriously poo-poo on anything ET. It's like, wait a minute here. You can't do that, and you can't do. And that's when I just kind of backed up, and once you do that with me, when I check out on you, I check out. Sometimes I lose interest, and I lost interest in Sean, and then suddenly he retired. I think he was a company guy towing the company line. Yeah, so I just kind of checked out. I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares about ET. I don't think he cares about contact. I don't think he gives a crap. And or this community or experiencers or evidence or the past or this and that. And to see these, I've gotten the emails and I've read the comments, but I haven't gone and read the article. But and maybe this is the Roswell stuff that you're referring to, that he researched Roswell. You know, I call BS on all of that. I do. So yeah, I kind of checked out on Sean. He would have to come back with, okay, I've looked at the evidence and now I've got an open mind. There's too much strange stuff going on, and maybe, but yeah. So I don't know. I think that Christopher Mellon has got a genuine interest in the subject and trying to get to answers. I don't think he knows anything, but yeah, I think that Christopher Mellon is right there. But I haven't seen the tweets. I haven't read the article specifically that you're talking about. But Sean Kirkpatrick, nah, I kind of checked out. Let's see. In 100 years, most of us will be dead. What do you think the us will be? The us or U.S.? What do you? I think that's the U.S. What do you think the U.S. will be like? Better or worse than now? Man, I've got flowers hanging out of my pockets. I think things get better every single day. Yeah. And I'm not in the social media bubble that most people are. Okay? So I'm not out there reading 1,000 posts a day. I'm not out there commenting. I'm not out there looking at. I'm not seeing. I'm not in. Going down a news feed. I'm not in that. So my take on the world is I'm in an unplugged situation. I'm plugged in, of course, but in my world, the way that I see it, everything is pretty cool. Okay? I live in a town. I live right here in Los Angeles, but I live in a suburb outside of Los Angeles. And in this town, we don't have, I'm not around drama every single day. I don't see that. I haven't been in a fight or an argument with anybody online or in life in like 3 years. So I don't have negativity and I don't pursue it. I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what, I live and let live. You do your thing, right? You just do your thing. I'm doing mine. And in my little thing, it's pretty cool. So I think that things are getting better. I do. That's my world. That's my world. And if you can, if I'm going to give advice to anybody, like this question here, if you have the ability, if you have the emotional power to chase your dreams, frigging do it. Do it. Your perspective will change. You will see what it's like to be happy. And I'm not saying that you're not happy or everybody. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you have the ability to do that, do it. You will back up and just go, wow. 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 The world is not that bad. Get your focus off of the bubble, the drama, the media, the headline. Get out of that. Now, I'm not saying that news isn't important. Yeah, the weather is important. Yes, of course. Okay. What I am saying is that there are media sources out there and social media and AI-driven machine learning things that will cause you to have a distortion of reality. So what do? Unplug away. Get into something else. One of the reasons why I have that Harley or these guitars, or I build models. I love building model cars. I've got lots of them, right? And I do that to get away from, right? Would you want to hear me rant and rave about false drama or media-driven drama that's going on out there in the world? That's not why you're here, And how is it possible that I can have a free thinking mind? It's because I'm not responding to or letting my emotions get wrapped up into something that I just don't feel is reality. I remember that's that social media bubble. I remember saying years ago, if you read a headline and the headline says, cheese will make you live longer. Well, the opposite of that is probably true. The same article, right? It could be cheese will shorten your life. That's the headline. The opposite is probably true. Wait a minute. What? Exactly. Live your version of life. Live your version that makes you happy. Just don't get stuck in that bubble. That Harley, I get out. I'm not on the internet. I'm spending 3 hours just in nature, just driving, just alone. That's an incredible place to be, and most people aren't there today. Man, I can't imagine the generations that are out there now. Wake up in the morning, kids, iPad down to the bowl of cereal, iPad. It's already started, right? Parents are doing the same thing. Adults are doing the same thing, right? Walking around aimlessly. When I go through an airport, it's one of the most fascinating things. Go into a crowd these days. Walk down the street. Go through an airport and just look. Everybody is staring at their cell phones. Go to sit. Just go to a restaurant and look at everybody waiting for their tables. Just look. Everyone, old and young, everyone just not talking. Somebody sitting next to them, not talking to them. Son, daughter, husband, wife, mother, father, relation, people, friends, sitting around and staring. It's like, oh my God. I'm not that guy. Now, I'm not saying I'm not updated. I am. I get what I need, and then I move on. I just don't do this all day long. How many times do I have to say that I have grown as a person because I am doing this for 2, 3, 4 hours a night? Yeah. I'm not on the internet. I'm not texting. I'm not reading a news feed. I'm not checking on things. I'm just talking. I'm learning. I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to you. And can you do that? That's the challenge. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you put your phone down for 3 hours and just talk to somebody? Can you do it? Can you do it? I do. And what I've learned. There you go. Sandy says, do you ever sync up with TV, radio through groups of people? Do I ever sync up with TV, radio through groups of people? I don't know if I understand the question, or is it kind of what I just said? Do I sync up with TV, radio through groups of people? I don't know. Rare Elvis song, Heart of Rome. All right, let's see. How long can you hold your breath while skin diving? I've never skin dived. So there's. Do you think you will do a regression again? That's from Audrey. I kind of just answered that. Lots of regression questions. It's exhausting. It was fun though, man. If you are thinking about it, go and do it. What is the most frightening memory when you were regressed? And the best, I'm gonna. You know what's the most frightening part about it is that I didn't know. It was a memory that I didn't know that I had. That's pretty nuts. And the other part about it, and the way that maybe I'll release more of the footage. I spoke with the higher self. That was a different language. Those words and ideas and thoughts and expressions that I can't even do it now live. I can't. That was bizarre. That was bizarre. I need to write that stuff down and repeat it. So, are we going to see the strange clouds for real? I'm not sure what that is. Okay, let me. When is the Fade to Black live tour starting? Oh yeah, okay, we've got that. I'll get that out tomorrow. I know that my guest, that is April 20th, 420 in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Kerr Theater. So yeah, tickets are available now. I'll get that out. I know that Vivian Chauvet, Lynn Katai, James Keenan, Nick Pope, those are my guests at the Kerr Theater in Scottsdale, April 20th. So I'll get that out in social media tomorrow. And but yeah, April 20th, Kerr Theater in Scottsdale, Arizona. Yeah. So there you go. And that's from Nemo's Odyssey. Bill, I'm sure, Bill, Genocide, if you guys Google that, I'll put it out there in social media tomorrow. But if you Google it, you should have the link right there, and you can pop it up in the chat for everybody. How many languages do you speak? 1. Yes. 1. I speak 1. I kind of understand Russian. I kind of understand Armenian a little bit. Greek, no. Japanese, no. Chinese, Spanish. I understand it. So I could. If somebody was telling me something and needed to tell me something, I could probably get through that. Speaking it, nah, I only speak 1. What is your definition of data? Data is information. That's it. Let's see. Do I believe that, Jimmy, do you believe that you have a guardian angel? Yeah. 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 Haven't met him or her, but yeah. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. That's actually pretty funny. Let's see. Jimmy, please tell us a Chris Cornell story. Love and miss him. Yeah. Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell story. A Chris Cornell story. Got 100, if not 1,000 of them. You know, I probably told this before in the air. I'm sure that I have. We played. Okay. All right. Tipitina's in New Orleans. So we get there and going through sound check. And I remember standing in the middle of the room, and I look up and there are these beams that were going across the ceiling. And then there's like a balcony. I don't know if it's the same or if that club is still there, but I remember the balcony had a chain link fence on it, kind of like the Blues Brothers on the second floor. And I see that. And then, but there were these beams going across and up. It was like 20, 30 feet in the air. But on one of these beams was a basketball backboard, like with a net mounted. Not to play basketball, it was up too high, but it was up there. And I just kind of saw it. And I saw Chris from the stage doing sound check. And I saw him looking at that backboard. Mental note to self. Chris sees the backboard. Now, so later on that night, now we're doing the show. Place is packed. And Chris climbs up during the song, up on the speakers, climbs out, goes across on the chain link fence. He's singing. Climbs across, goes across the beam, down, and hangs on the rim of the backboard. He's holding on the rim, and he's bouncing it. I'm like, dude, it's going to pull it off. It's going to pull it off the beam. And he just bounces, rips it off the ceiling, falls down into the crowd, and is now floating around with the backboard still singing. Yeah, it was incredible. I saw it. I just remember in sound check, I was watching his brain click. Chain link fence, backboard, beam, note to self. I saw it happen. Yeah, Chris Cornell, man. Just absolutely sad. Hello, Jimmy. Are you always... I'd like to know, at times with certain guests, it is apparent to me that you bite your tongue. Is that uncomfortable for you? I don't bite my tongue. Does it appear that way? I think that with all of my guests, we have it's open and back and forth. I don't think I bite my tongue, and if I appear to, I don't know. It's completely open. Jimmy, do you color your hair? No. It's gray. Look at the gray. Do you see that? Do you see this gray in my hair? Do you see that? Do I color my hair? Do I color my hair? There's so much gray. Look at this. It's gray. Solid. I remember when I started getting and I could, whatever. And if I mowed it down enough, the gray would go. Now it's probably 80% gray. And then now the gray streaks, look at that. Those are long. That's a long gray hair. Look at that. It's just gray. Yeah. So, no, obviously, I do not color my hair. All right. Let's see. Jimmy, are we doomed to repeat history? That's from Monica. Unfortunately, we are. I mean, for the time being, we are. We are. Fun fact, Frank Zappa has 126 albums. That is a good fact right there. That sounds about right, though. Are we doomed to repeat history? It's like we do it all the time. I mean, over and over, and it's not modern. We do it now. We do it now. And our memories are just so short. What I brought up World War II earlier. Let's go back to World War I. World War I, horrific war. And, 1917, 1918, 1919, 1920. It's like 20 years later, right back to it. And so think about that. Here we are in 2023. How long is 20 years is nothing. 20 years is absolutely nothing. 2003. That's how long ago 20 years is. I was born in 1963. 20 years before I was born was World War II. 18 years. That's nuts to me. And how quickly we can just roll over. Right after World War II. World War II ends. Korean War. Just like that. Right? So it's an amazing thing how we constantly, and I'm just talking about war, but it's other things too as well. And that's the macro, that's the big. If you go down to the micro, just go to your life for a second. How often do you do something that you know you're not supposed to do? And it's not right or wrong. Maybe it's the route to work. You know that street is going to have traffic on it, but you take it anyway. There's an alternate route, but you don't do it. Right? I mean, how often it's like that constantly. So it's just in our nature. So how do you evolve and grow? Do something different. Get out of the norm. I do it every day. Okay, so how much of a creature of habit am I? Every morning I do, because I drink coffee. So I get up, shower, right? Clothes, down at the coffee machine. And there's a process. So I have a French press. I have a coffee grinder. I have an espresso machine. And I have a kettle. All have to be fired up. Okay? And I do them in order. Turn on the coffee kettle, right? I grind the beans. I turn on the espresso machine. I take the French press. I rinse that out. I put that down. By the time the French press is sitting on the thing, the coffee grinder's done. My espresso machine, I have to take that. I have to empty the espresso. Pop, 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 pop. I've got a little thing. I do the hammer. You've seen do that. That goes down. I fill up the espresso, tamp it down, put that in, boom, hit go, take the extra coffee, put that in the French press, right? Everything happens in an order. if I do something different, and then I even have the same thought in the morning. I remember who introduced me to the French press. I have this. If I do something out of order, I stop and I go, I just did it out of order. Now, is that some obsessive compulsive thing? So, yes, it is. So, I've got to deal with the cream. I've got to deal with the coffee. That's all in there too as well, right? It's this thing that happens every single day. So I have to change that up. And because if I go click, 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 boom, done, right, and it's all in order, I'm not doing something different. I've got to change it up. And so I have found that, and this has gone on now. This has gone on for years. How do you change that up? So I do. I'll pop things out of order. I'll do something a little bit different. I won't French press. I'm going to brew today. I'll change it up. I don't want to do the same thing. And that is everybody's life. What is it that you can do different? Now, so I'm going to bring up the Harley. The show's over, by the way. I'm already off the network. This is bonus time. That's why that Harley is there. That's why I put the gym in the house. That's why I do, because I need to change it up. Got to change it up. I got to do something different. What did I do last year that I have? I went to what? How many countries did I go to? I went to the UK. I went to Peru. I went to Egypt. I went to Mexico. I went to Miami a bunch of times. Denver, Colorado a bunch of times. I went to San Francisco. I'm leaving some things out. I went to Sedona. And so I absolutely changed up my whole routine for the entire year. Las Vegas and absolutely flipped it over. And that's, you have to do that. If you have the ability to do something different, go and do it. If you can chase your dreams, go and do it. Don't be satisfied. Do not. Don't slow it down. Don't be willing to just get into this status quo thing. Don't do it. Don't. Change it up. You want to write that book? Go and write the book. Don't do it tomorrow. Do it today. You want to take up painting? Go and get some paintbrushes. Get some canvases. Whatever. It does not matter. Me? I went out and got a friggin' Harley and everything that is involved with that. It's the jackets, it's the clothes, it's the helmets, it's the tools, things, everything that goes along with that. Why? I'm changing it up. Changing it up. And it doesn't have to be a Harley. It can be a bike. It can be anything. Rollerblades. Do they still sell those? Whatever it is, just change it up. Do something different. And hopefully that answers your question. Will we be different in the future? Are we stuck doing the same thing? Will we repeat ourselves? How do we do that? We do that individually first. Change yourself. Change yourself. Whatever it is. So there you go. I know that I left literally hundreds of questions on the table, but Jimmy, do you use your gym? I do. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night. Dr. Michael Masters is with us tomorrow. We will be talking about is E.T. a future version of ourselves? That's right. That's tomorrow night. Is E.T. just a bunch of time travelers? And I think that is part of the answer for sure. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Thank you to Dennis. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, John Inside. Webmasters, Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and this broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black, the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Until tomorrow night with Dr. Michael Masters, I want you to be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.